So, hello everyone, and welcome to lesson 42 of A Course in Miracles. Every night, what do I say? I say I'm very excited, and tonight is no exception. I'm so excited, y'all. We have so much in store, but before we go into the lesson, I wanted to share with everyone that I am wearing a beautiful shirt. Hi, Shanti. I'm wearing a beautiful shirt by a member of the community. Her name is Rebecca. And look at the sleeve. It's so gorgeous. So she is the last session we talked about creating and investing in ourselves. And that's exactly what she's doing. She has many creative projects going on, but I wanted to highlight her shirt. And if you are interested, I'm going to be leaving her email address in the description box of the video. She hand makes each shirt with a very high vibration. She personalizes every shirt to that person. So every shirt's not going to say peace, but it could say whatever you want it to say. She handpicks the colors and everything. So I just wanted to highlight that. Our beautiful sister Rebecca makes fabulous shirts. So today's lesson, y'all, lesson 42 states, God is my strength. Vision is his gift. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. So there are two powerful things in this lesson. One is that God is our strength. And the second, not our bodies, not our possessions, but God is our strength. And the second is that vision is his gift. True vision. Vision that sees ourselves and others as the powerful, divine beings of light that we all are. Vision that sees beyond what our physical eyes can see. There is an entire realm of reality that we cannot perceive, which is why we are going through this process of clarifying our minds to remove the blocks from achieving true vision. So what are we up to on this channel? We are in the process of clarifying our minds back to love. We are throwing away all blocks we have acquired throughout the years that prevent us from accessing the energy of that which we are, which is love. And I would like to encourage everyone who is listening to this video to get this book and begin the lessons of A Course in Miracles. Do not be intimidated by how big the book is. All you are asked to do is in the middle of the book, and about the middle of the book is where the lessons begin. And if you do one lesson a day for a year, just one lesson a day, 10-minute lesson a day, if you do the lessons as sure as the shirt I am wearing, right, you will find that you are a little less quick to anger, a little more patient with others, that your vibration is a little higher, and that you will begin to create that which gives you joy. So if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, because that is what we are up to on this channel. So without further delay, I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I've been looking so forward to this. I would like to introduce everyone to the much anticipated Linda Lee Hack. Linda is a dear friend of mine. I have known her for about 4 years now. And she comes with many abilities, y'all. True vision. She has brought forth many high vibrational messages from spirit that have personally helped me throughout the years. So a little bit about Linda. Where do I start? Linda is a psychic medium. She is a spiritual counselor. She is an artist, an author, and a poet. Okay. So she channels spirit guides, she channels angels and loved ones who have transitioned. Linda also channels pets and can even view other lifetimes we have lived. And last but certainly not least, I am very excited to share that Linda speaks the wonderful healing language called light language. And for those of us who grew up in the church, this language is commonly known as speaking in tongues. So I'm going to allow Linda to explain how she started speaking this beautiful language of the soul. And are y'all ready? Linda is going to give us a powerfully healing blessing with this high vibrational language. So hello, Linda, and welcome to the sharing group. We are so very happy to have you join us.
Well, I'm very honored to be here, Loretta, and I thank you very much. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while. Kind of here we are after this long anticipated and an invitation that I got, I can't remember, a year ago, I think, for us to do this or close to it. Mm-hmm. The light language, I will call it tongues because I really believe that's what it is. Yeah. I was just reading an article yesterday that was trying to explain the difference between the language that the Bible speaks about, speaking in tongues,
yes,
and what we are doing today. So when I was 12 years old, just 12 years old, in Los Angeles at the Amy McPherson's Foursquare, was called Foursquare, Pentecostal church.
Okay.
I was attending church with my great-grandmother, who, in her younger days, she was a Pentecostal preacher, in the 500 room at that temple in Los Angeles. It's right across the street from Echo Park, if anybody's familiar with California, in LA. And one night, you know how after we went to church on Sunday and then we went to church on Wednesday night, and this was a Wednesday night. And you know how at the end of every church service, they have the invitational for you to come down and give your life to Christ and everything. Yeah. And prior Wednesday nights, you know, I would be doing what a 12-year-old does, you know, kicking the chair that's in front of me and playing with the hymn book and the Bible and doing everything but paying attention, right? Mm-hmm. But this particular night, when they started the invitational, now you're talking about a 12-year-old child here, all of a sudden it felt like my heart itself, the muscle in my heart was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was expanding, and my breathing changed, everything changed, and I didn't know what was going on. You know, I was feeling a pull to go down to the front, and my grandmother sitting right next to me just suddenly pats me on the leg very quietly, and she said, "It's okay, honey, they're calling you. It's time for you to go." Man, I looked up at her and I'm like, how did she know that? How did she know I was being pulled to go down? And sure enough, I did. I went down front, and if anybody's been in a Pentecostal church, they have the usher stand right behind you. Minister comes by, touches your forehead, and is speaking in tongues. And sure enough, I went straight out. They laid me down. The curious thing is I have no idea where I went. Even to this day, all these years later, I had no idea where I went. I just went to sleep and then woke up speaking in tongues.
Wow.
Just woke up going crazy, speaking in tongues, raising my hands up to the Lord. And then my grandmother had to kind of teach me the next time we came back to church, I get the urge to speak in tongues. And she had to teach me now. She pats me again. She says, now, just because you have the urge doesn't mean you do that. You have to learn how to control this, right? Mm-hmm. But then I left her and I never did anything with it. I would use it to pray with. Back home, I don't think my mother ever knew that I'd had that experience. And like many of us, I had a tough home life when I was a kid. This stuff. And but I never told anybody, and I would use it to pray because I knew where it came from. I knew it was our Heavenly Father that was in me. That's the way I looked at it as a 12-year-old. And when I didn't know what to say to myself or how to pray, I just would use the tongue. And I did that the whole time I was raising kids, go through strife. I went through a couple of different marriages. And obviously, you all know, if any of you've had that experience, you know, you're just confused. You don't know what it is you need. You don't know what you're asking for. You just know you're hurting, you're in pain, and you need help. And that's how I used it. Until through Erik. I don't know how many of your people know about Erik, but I assume if they know you, they know Erik. Through the Channeling Erik group, I met somebody by the name of Audie Heron. And Audie Heron, I did tell, and this happened, let's see, we've been here 7.5 years. This happened right after we moved in here. So 2014, actually, it happened. And I met this Audie Heron, who was a remote healer. And I told him about me speaking in tongues. And I had done a lot of investigative work prior to that, before we even moved into this house. And I saw the words light language. So I started looking, what does light language mean? I thought, well, is that the same thing as speaking in tongue? So I think what's happened is life kind of branded anybody who spoke in tongues as being crazy. They called them the holy rollers, right? And the Black churches, the congregations that were primarily Black, you could hear the praise blocks away from that church. And everyone, oh, the holy rollers, the crazy people, right? So I think what happened was I could say to somebody, I might talk to and say, well, I speak in tongues. And they would be like, the bread's about ready to come out of the oven, gotta go, right? And suddenly but now, if you say to somebody, I speak in light language, they actually lean in and go, light language? What is light language? I've never heard of light language. So it's been softened. It's been softened and it's more accepted. Even this day, if I say speaking in tongues, somebody's kind of like, she must be crazy. So now it's soul language, language of light, language of love. I've heard it called so many things, but I know where mine came from. I was filled with the Holy Spirit that day. I honestly, when I look back on my life, all of the different things that I've come up again in my life, I believe that I was blessed at such a young age because it kept me focused where I needed to be focused. And all of the things, all the directions that I could have gone in as I was growing up as a young woman, a young mother, a young person, all the things that I'd gone through, there were so many natural things in life that I could have stepped off and gone in the wrong direction. And this was my protection from doing that. The minute I found myself in a position that I knew could be dangerous for me or for my loved ones or my family or whatever, my intuition was sharp, just like that. Like, okay, just like the woman baking the bread. Time to back up, time not to go down that path. And I believe that was because I had a job to do, and the job that I had to do was help activate other people in the ability to speak in the light language so that they could go on and activate other people.
And I love that, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. I love your story because it marries spirituality and the church. Because many people think that one has to be at odds with the other, and that's not true. So I love that is where your abilities were awakened. And I'm so excited, y'all. We're gonna get this light language blessing tonight. But before we did that, I did want to talk about the book that you and your husband David wrote. So Linda and David wrote a book called The World of Psychics, Mediums, and Spirits. And I bought the book on Kindle, and I gotta tell you, this book is packed with a wealth of information. There is something in it for everyone. There is so much research that was done in it to just educate the spiritual novice on the inception of this whole thing called spirituality. And there's also something for the most spiritually advanced person as well. So I wanted to ask David, what prompted you to write this book.
We get him in here, good. There we go.
But what prompted me is I had to figure out what she was doing. I was a grounded person. I was an engineer and a lawyer. Can you think of anybody more grounded than that? Nobody is.
Yeah.
So, I started reading some books. I did a lot of research over a year, well over a year, in writing this book and getting ready to write it. And it was a wealth of, it was like a primer. In fact, I mentioned it. It's like an educational primer for someone who doesn't know what this is quite all about. Mm. And I tried to stylize the book in that fashion. And so I wrote about terminology, with grammar, and I mentioned in parts of this about its relationship with God and all kinds of religion. And it was just a wealth of information which I accumulated. I felt my head would explode.
Wow.
And I finally put it all together, and I don't type. I had a fountain pen on my computer. So it took a while at that. And out came the book. And I'm proud of it. It was a tribute to Linda and what she has done in her awakening. In the book. It is a tribute to her. And the first half of the book is kind of like my education. The second half of the book is about her awakening and spirituality.
I love that. That's so beautiful. So for all you husbands and wives out there who have partners who are into the psychic realm and mediums, this is the book for you. I have highlighted it and shared my screen for everybody to see. Greg, one of my members, actually put in the chat that he just bought the book. So that you guys we're already supporting you. But it's wonderful. It is worth every dollar. There's a lot of
it was a tribute to Linda. It was a tribute to Linda, and Linda was the inspiration. I was just a bystander. Here I am. Yeah, that's me.
I love it.
Spirituality go around me. So that was the book. It took a while. There's a lot of subjects in there, which include life between lives, which takes up quite a bit of time. Pages in the book. And in general, it was enlightening for me. And so now I'm a companion kind of with Linda in her spirituality.
Nice.
I am not a psychic and I'm not a medium. Right off the bat. So,
yeah. You just married someone.
I'm not a medium. I don't know anything about that. But I know Linda is an exceptional medium and very spiritual.
Aww.
I know she has improved the lives of hundreds of her clients.
Yes.
Her knowledge and her counseling as a spiritual counselor.
Oh, thank you, honey.
So that's the book, and it was a pleasure for me to write.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiration with that. And you're right. Your wife is amazing. She has touched many, many lives. And so, Linda, I would like to get back to your life language. So now, everyone, whether you're on the Zoom or whether you're looking at the video from home, before Linda blesses us with her light language, I would like all the viewers to take a moment and set an intention. Light language speaks directly to the soul, and it has incredible power to activate our abilities. So set an intention. This is being recorded on February 22nd, 2022. We picked this date for a reason. So there are a lot of strong energies around us. And so let's set an intention. It can be to heal the body. It could be to activate and expand your own channeling or psychic abilities. It could be to forgive someone, to start your own business idea that's been playing in your head, or even to activate your own ability to channel light language. Mm-hmm. So whatever resonates with you, go ahead and set that intention. Now, Linda, your light language will activate these abilities in those who are ready to receive it, right? On the soul level. And for those of us who are not yet ready to demonstrate those abilities, the light language will still be received and heard by the soul. Am I on the right track with that?
Yes, you are. And as a matter of fact, if you as an individual decide that you want to activate, if you don't speak in tongues already or light language, if you want that to be activated tonight, that's you set your intention for that. And even if you're not on the right place just yet on your path, it stays right here. It'll be with you and be around you and surround you until it starts flowing through you.
Wonderful.
I've had people that were activated even up to a year or a year and a half. You know, I'll suddenly get a email or something saying, or a text message saying, "Oh my God, I was driving in the car and I was singing these songs, and all of a sudden this all happened, and I just started singing in a language I didn't know what I was doing." You know, so you know, another woman was taking a bath. She was taking a bath and she was just sit back, relaxing. She just started humming, and then same thing. She sends me a little message and like, yeah. So, and then other people start right away because you're right there. You're ready to receive. You know, you are here, right here this minute because you're supposed to be here, or you're watching later on because it's time for you to be activated. So it's really not going to go anywhere. And not everybody needs to activate it. If they want to activate it, they have to be willing to understand and loving it, knowing that it's coming from the Holy Spirit. It's not coming from any place that can cause you harm. Because a lot of people think it could cause harm. It won't cause harm. It just causes love.
Right. Yes.
I'm going to exit now and let Linda do the light language and explain words, because your audience will be surprised, hopefully, and very much energized by it. Okay.
Thank you so much, David. It is so nice to virtually meet you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, so Linda, I am going to mute myself. And so everyone, when you're at home and when you're re-listening to the light language, Linda says the best thing to do is use headphones so that this language will speak directly to you without noises and distractions.
Yes, I always encourage everybody to use the headphones. That's what I'm going to do. And
very nice of you. Very nice of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm about to mute myself, and everyone mute themselves, and we are ready when you are.
Okay. How I do this generally is I'll take a couple of deep breaths, quiet deep breaths. Allow my crown chakra to open. Right now it's showing me the color yellow. Color yellow. Ekora hinahi hoketi adi amako kishihala hamani ki lahane nini amakura reha languli hasi iramoni ni adali haride ala rine hada diya dahala makuta hada alahi makushihana namihala ila ikarani diya hora akon Karara ini anda la bori ada hala bay ayaso kali asi atau apa iti amana iti la yau ta iti kalama kota beki asu kasahamana ahila ya tu akarani na amani ni anda hala bakusi atapoka Pisibing ang mahal ibe, jika saka remiga la mokodea, Besi kataya bokota Himalaya shikoto atan mianda alabeka. Leheda agoshianda baka ali epikirianda alabakota asia. Makana miki lebakodianda halabaka sia takala. Mahana minianda halabekisikota. Makari digasi kala makutika ala la mianda ala yokota hiam. Asiri anda halabeki alokusianda baleki amakuwea. Named halabeka leka ikusa amakoriasa ameki. Mahedi diata alabikuta animiki alahiasa kodea makalia tik ilaya. Nani biki alahi kusa amaki alabiki pi alabikuta anda redibika lahi andividiasa kapoko andia la yasaka. Meshahni halabikusi anda abelihan dailabakuti anda la. Behedi anda alabakuti hasa kalamukia. Mani anda la yasa epokutia malaya taridika la mekutea. Lahiti ia kanea gari hasu koditi anda halabakai. Aisukuta alamiki atasi sam baidediata alabu. Alaburi anda radiba halaya karibi anda halabakisi atokopoka. Pe karabika la makia la mokiti ada alamikita la mokusha. Laiba hadi enda halabikuta anda bikisa atikipukata anda alabakai atakaridiwasa. Haria sakanimi anda halabikisa alibikusa anda bakia ala aida azekota. Dahane buku, dada buku dahadi be ada beri yang dot lay bagu dia ada kai buku ta. Beke hasoko ta haniba ni bika ada da dua bahal la bakiti asoko a be ada di dia toko kere bah hindi ko si amete ada ni bika dan dia ko sa anda libike asoko ta bakadi di yang bagu da ta hama ahu saya buku share dia sakade dia menda galbe ka sakar gere na la bagu dia anda di dia ta habawa mo anda menda haya buku si ada abele poko sa alebiki tigana digata ambareando hayanda alebeko tigata kalabeke samangia mangar habale wanda alebiki sukare diam bagala eta abugudayasa mahishu kare diasa kabakati ambagale hiko dare diasa kare biganda dalbekota elebeki dianda labayana mania la waya nikale o kala ro kianda la kiatuku banya hala ilamukutu ori adari bike ele dado andi abakari ando lehito dai kadore anda bakudari diganta boyi anda kalo kilalo kari hare hange alo enda hekele gidio anda yamba lekse yamo anda likeata besho kere anda nama kale yata rare ata kabugi ata lini ando la yata beo koti ata la bagadi ata la mokari ata la bugisi ata la Kaite ala muka ekala hindala kila poata la kila puata da kishikama kila akaribe kase kotare dianda deka toke apa kuto karianda ala pegea teka baikusan deka potika ala bukuta la titi tiata ala bukushi. So the light language was 3 different people came through.
Wow.
The first light language was my light language, blessing everybody. The second one that came through was Jesus. And the third one that came through was Mary.
Oh my gosh, I'm in heaven right now.
So you'll be able to, when you're listening to this close in your earphones, you'll definitely be able to pick up the difference in the sounds and the articulations of the vibrations of the words that were coming through. And that's another thing too to understand too, is that when somebody speaks light language for you or with you or to you, that it comes in levels. It's not just one. We only hear with our human ears the first layer.
Yes.
But okay, they're telling me right now there's 22 layers of vibration in this light.
Wow.
So the 22 suits us perfect for the day and what's happening in the stars for us right now. So they're telling me that there's 22 levels of vibration. So once you receive this, make sure that I want you to listen to it once a day and once a day only for that 22 days. Because each day you're going to receive a different level of the vibration into your soul. At the end of the 22 days, you can listen and only listen once a day, only once a day for 22 days. And it doesn't have to be back to back for 22 days, but that's what you want to do. After the 22 days, however, you can set your own intentions for that which you want to receive, and you can listen as often as you wish.
First of all, you said it was, oh my God, I'm speechless. I got chills. I don't know if anybody else felt anything, people who are sensitive to energy, if you felt anything when Linda was speaking, but that is beautiful. So to be clear, for not only us on the call, but people who will be listening to the video, once a day, listen to this with the earphones on for 22 days with your intention set. Thank you so much.
Now, you don't want to set your intention for the first 22 days.
Okay.
Leaving each level, each day, you're getting a different level of that which they intend you to have. Okay. So it's after the 22 days that you can listen, continue to listen, and, maybe make it part of your meditation or whatever when you get the urge, and then set your intention for what you want to receive.
Okay. Gotcha. God told y'all she comes with many gifts, many gifts. So, okay. Everyone, while you are preparing your questions, because I know everybody came with questions. Now, these can be questions to get messages from loved ones who have transitioned. If you want to hear how your pets are doing, if you want to hear from your higher self, spirit guides, angels, archangels, this is the time.
Yes, it is. And also too, when y'all break away or you unmute yourself, if you did have a physical response while listening to it, we'd love to hear what you were experiencing as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I did want to add. Thank you, Linda. Yes, please let us know from the days, months, and years after you hear this. Let us know what comes up. What changes happen in your life. I love this. So while everybody's kind of preparing their question for you, Linda, I wanted to ask a question while everybody's trying to figure out what they want to ask. I want my question to be directed toward Erik. So for all
come on, Erik. Calling him in. Come on, Erik. He's like, I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here.
Hey, so for all of you who are not familiar with Erik, and his name is spelled with a K instead of a C. Erik is a young man, and I've shared a video about him. He's a young man who committed suicide in his 20s. And I think I got that right. And his mother
was 20 years old. Yeah.
Wow. He was 20 years old. And his mother, in her desperation to communicate with her son, decided to start engaging with mediums and psychics to connect with him. And as a result, his mother, her name is Dr. Elisa Medhus. She is a doctor. She began a blog, and she built this incredible YouTube presence where she discusses all things spiritual with her son through a variety of trusted psychics, including Linda. And in this incredible dialogue, both Erik and his mother, Elisa, has helped so many people around the world experience their own spiritual evolution, because Erik oftentimes communicate in a way that is incredibly relatable to the masses. He has evolved. When he first started doing he's funny. So I talk about her channel in my video titled Empathy versus Pity. So check that out, everyone. And I'm also going to insert a link to Dr. Elisa Medhus's channel in the description box. Her channel will not disappoint. They interview everybody from Jesus to celebrities and just have so many engaging conversations. So my question, Erik, I love you, and I'm honored that you have stepped forward to be with us today. My question to you, Erik, is there are so many people who struggle with thoughts of suicide every day due to depression, anxiety, illness, and a whole plethora of reasons. Can you please offer your wisdom and guidance about how people can overcome these thoughts of suicide and find their peace?
Well, the first thing he says is that many people who have committed suicide, like himself, it was in their contract for this lifetime.
Wow.
Many of the suicides that take place are the person who is that does commit suicide is there to change the lives of everybody that loves that person or knows that person. So not all suicide is bad, is what he's saying. And we really need to change he's saying we need to change our human perspective about suicide. He says, let me remind you that when you incarnate into this lifetime, you create exit points for your life.
Yes.
And the reason why you do this, he's saying that the average person, the average soul, comes in with at least 3 exit points throughout their life. And if you take the time to really look back on your life, you will find that there were situations where you suddenly changed your mind. Like, for instance, leaving your house and you're on your way to work, when we all did leave the house to work before COVID. You always take the same route, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. But suddenly this one day you decide, you know what, I think I'm going to go this direction today, or I think I'm going to stop and get a cup of coffee, which you never ever do. When you change that pattern, that's you making a sense, your subconscious making the decision that today is one of your exit points, but you don't need to take it. You're not going to take it, right? Or you have a near-death experience where you come back. These are all opportunities for you to take that exit point, and you may not take that exit point. He said, for me, the life that I chose to have and the life that I chose to experience, and with the family that I chose to experience it with, I was the catalyst for awakening all of them. They were, what do you call it when they don't believe in God? Atheists. He was born into an atheist family. And he was the catalyst to awaken all of these people to God and to afterlife. And he's bringing up his grandfather, he's saying, who was the ultimate atheist. And that's how he raised his family. He had like 5 kids, I believe. His mother had 5 children, or not. She was from 5 children. She had 5 children too, but she was from a family of 5. So it was this father. And he remembers visiting him as a little boy, about 7 years old. This was after his death. And he was able to materialize himself and actually go in and sit on his grandfather's lap. And his grandfather was able to touch him and feel him. And then as soon as this was over with, and I think this is probably in one of the books that has been written, he immediately contacted Elisa and told Elisa. And so he was the catalyst for this entire family. There was a large family, because you figure each generation had 5 children, and those all 5 children have children, right? So it was a big thing. So this was one of the things he tells me right now, that he was the catalyst for awakening them to powers way beyond what an atheist believes. An atheist believes, I don't even know what they believe, to be honest with you, but I kind of assumed that they believe that once our bodies die, then we're done. We're just done. And a spiritual person knows that you're not done at death. And sometimes that's exactly it. And he's reminding me of the young souls. There's young souls that come in and go out. They go out in and out in months or days or weeks. Say a baby, for instance, that's born into a family and the baby doesn't stay around. That's what they call a traveler. That soul, that whole purpose of that soul is to go in and change the lives of the family that it joins and then leave. And it's in their leaving that changes the lives, not so much in their coming.
We understand. Okay. Is there anybody on the call who would like to ask Jesus any of you arcane, anybody. If you want to connect with the transitioned loved ones, or do you have any questions, love life, career? Is there anybody that has anything to ask?
I hope so.
You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. Greg, you're unmuted, right?
You hear me?
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Linda. How you doing? I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I have a question. It's a very general question,
Okay.
and it could be from yourself or from Jesus or Mary. I always ask this question: what is our purpose here in this Earth School life? Is there an answer for that? A general answer, a specific answer?
Okay. So what is happening in this generation that we are living in and existing in? We have a sole purpose here at this time because of what humanity is going through. There are more light workers on Earth than any other time in history, including the biblical days. Okay. And this is Jesus speaking. And this is our purpose for being here now. Our purpose is the first thing that we do is to learn how to love ourselves as we are, accept ourselves as we are, knowing that we chose this vessel that we're in, we chose the family that we're in, we chose the family that we have, and this is the very first thing. The second thing we learn is love, pure love, what is called unconditional love, which is a very, very hard thing for people to do. And not judging people. Don't judge another for the choice that they made because you made that same choice in another lifetime that you've already lived. Or it could be something that's in your future, in a future lifetime. So right now, the most important thing of why this generation is here and continuing to come in is what he's saying, continuing to come in. And he's also saying that many of those that depart, what we would call as humans an unnatural departure, is because they're more important or their work is from the other side. They can felicitate more healing and more light from the other side, from that which they left. So our main purpose to be here right now is to help elevate, find love, and teach love. Because love is the answer to all things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you for the question. Is there anybody else?
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry again, I forgot your name. I keep looking at the
Madison.
Madison. Okay. Welcome.
Before I ask you a question, I want to let you know that I don't know if it's related to you, but past few weeks, once in a while, my tongue will tingle. But I didn't know that you were gonna activate light language today. But before you start, my tongue started to tingle, and then I heard that you were gonna activate. And while you were doing it, I felt like somebody's like brushing down like forehead to the back. And then I kind of, while listening to you, I kind of drift my consciousness. But when I came back to listen again, and it started brushing it again. So that was my experience while listening to your activation.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. It sounds to me like what you were feeling is what I feel when my crown chakra opens up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it goes. It goes from here back, and I can actually feel it. And oftentimes I can see colors. Like today when I started it, I saw yellow.
Okay.
It was like that. It was opening up. I could feel it opening up, and it was like shining yellow. So Madison, my guess is that if you, when you're quiet, if you start chanting in any way, shape, or form, chanting, anything, the anything whatsoever, I believe probably you're ready to be activated. And that's exactly what you need to do. And just let it flow and let it come. And don't be frightful from it and just let it pour out. Oftentimes when people first begin to speak, not me, but most people, when they first begin to speak, I hear when I get my feedback from them that they repeat the same, sounds like the same vernacular over and over and over again. It might be like a half a sentence or a quarter of a sentence or one full, of course, sentence, 2 words, but you know what I mean, where I'm going with it. So, yeah. So don't be alarmed. If it sounds like the same thing's coming out over and over again, just keep using it, keep praying with it, keep setting your intentions with it, and it will continue to expand itself. Oftentimes people their language will be exactly the same every time they speak because it's their language. It's yours. It's what's coming through you.
Okay.
While of sharing light language with people, before I found out what I'm like, all of a sudden I realized it was before I would even record it, that it sounds different. It sounds different when I do it for this person than I do it for this person. So I'm going out on the patio and sitting out on the patio. And in my mind, I say, okay, I'm going to pray for the guy that lives right next door. I'm going to ask about prayer for him. And then I would speak in tongues and it would come out. And then I would pick somebody else. And I was like, it is true. I'm tapping into their energy. This is coming from their energy, not my energy. That's why it changes.
Okay.
But when I'm praying for myself, I'm laying in bed at night and I'm praying for myself, it always sounds the same to me. Because it's my energy that's putting it out, not somebody else's energy. Or I'm channeling somebody else's through me. And that's what happens. Yeah. So I have like a huge file of all the different sounds and languages that come out of me. And they talk about the light language being a combination of every language that has ever been spoken and is being spoken universally. So that'll also mean off-world languages as well.
Okay. So then do you want us to open up to do it while meditating or while praying?
Any way you want to use it. There are no rules.
Okay. And you said for 22 days, do not set intention?
Correct. Because the 22 days, you've got 22 layers of vibration in that light language that will be coming through to you.
Wow.
And so we don't want you to set intention because it already has its own intention for you.
Okay.
Okay. And often it doesn't hurt to even keep a notebook as you're kind of going through little changes, or you notice that this has changed or that's changed, or your feelings about something has changed. Kind of keep a little notebook for a couple of weeks while you're listening to it, because some people will get a lot more out of it than other people will.
Mm-hmm.
And some people will not start getting it until long after they've finished with it.
Okay.
There's no rules with this. There's no rules. It's where you are on your own spiritual path when you're received. That's why sometimes I can do this and somebody will start speaking it right away because they're on the place in their path in this lifetime where they were supposed to be activated at that moment.
Okay.
When it comes. And it sounds like you're pretty close to it.
Yeah. So I have one question and I would like to ask Jesus. So I work with sound. And I would like to ask Jesus for those people who have created tumors, fibroid cysts. How can we uncreate that? Can he recommend any notes or any hertz that I can work with?
There is Hertz 3. Is it 369?
369.
Yes, 369 hertz, which is the level of sound vibration that cures or heals. Okay, not cures, but heals all things, body, mind, or soul.
Okay.
Intentions that are set by the person who is listening.
Okay.
So, and you know, that's the second time that has come up even today. So,
Ooh.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you. Wow, that was incredible. Sounds like you are ready, Madison. That's
Yeah, it does.
wonderful. I love that. So, does anybody else have a question about anything for Linda?
Brittany.
Hello, Linda.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
I am a bit nervous. I'm sorry, but hearing your story that you started off with the beginning of how you started. Sorry, that's my son in the back. But how you started with speaking light language, it reminded me of something that happened to me a couple years ago. Well, it was like a decade ago. I was in Bible study and I was reading a passage, and it was like Jesus said something. I can't remember what it was, but it like really hit my heart, and it brought me almost to tears. And then we, after I read that, we went into prayer before the Bible study. And after prayer, we went and we sat back down, and I was told to come to the back. And one of the girls whose hand I was holding on the left-hand side, she was back there crying. And she was saying, there's something coming from your hands. There's something in your hands. She said she was feeling something coming from my hands. I didn't know what she was talking about, but she was just crying. And then a second time it happened, I went to a church visiting a friend, and hey, wait 1 second. And in one Bible verse, I think it says, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, so shall I be present. So the pastor just wanted us to say Jesus over and over again, like almost a meditative kind of thing. So I just, was saying it over and over again. And, just I got into that same space. And the lady who was on my left, she had the same reaction. She just started crying and holding me and shaking. So I was just wondering if you have any insight on what that might be or what that might mean.
The message that I'm getting is that you resonate and carry the vibration of Jesus Christ himself. And what happens when you're in the right place at the right time, and those people who you are making physical contact with were meant to have that experience with you. And he's also telling me that this will continue. And what he's showing me right now, he's showing me a group of people in a circle, and everybody is holding hands. And the energy that flows through you will flow through each person, and each person will feel it until it gets back to you. So if you don't already have a group that you work with, you need to establish it. It's pushing you in that direction. You have a lot of power. You're a very powerful woman. And something about, he's also talking about the love that you have within you and in your heart and in your soul. Make space for him is what he's saying. Make space for him. So he's very close to you, very, very close to you. Oh, and he's also telling me to tell you, don't worry about the anger, because as I walked the earth, many things angered me as well. And because you're spiritual and because you are religious doesn't mean that you as a human can't be angry, because you can. We got her, Nate. We got her.
We got her, Linda. We got her. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, so come back in here, Brittany, for a minute. Okay, so tell us about the anger.
Oh my goodness, what was it? It happened today, and I was so upset it happened today, right before the call too. It was so silly too. My Instagram, somebody hacked into it and changed the password, and then I got so angry and I got so upset, and then I got so ashamed that why would I get upset over something so small, So it was just, and then right after that, I was able to log back in. So I just felt like I was being shown look at how much anger you still have in you, So.
And he's telling you that anger is okay. We're humans. We're spiritual beings having a human life. And we have to always remember that. Because to chastise yourself or, to discipline yourself, that just creates a bigger problem. So all it simply takes is long to say, okay, fine, I got the message, I'm done. I'm done. So you're good.
Thank you. Oh, and then I did want to say, when you were speaking the light language, it is embarrassing, but it was like spasms I was having, and sometimes I was shaking. That I just figured I'd let you know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you told us, because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what type of physical or, visuals that may have come in during the light language, because that tells me that it's touching people, which is.
Thank you so much for that, Brittany. Brittany, receive that. Receive that in your heart and know that to be true, because that is what we talk about on this channel, experiencing ourselves as God and recognizing our greatness. And I love that. I really love that. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. And thank you, Linda, for your response. We have Rebecca has her hand up. Rebecca, did you want to ask something?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. In regards to the light languages, that was really amazing. And I did have today, when I was meditating and I was kind of drifting, I started hearing chanting, but my phone was off. I double checked it. I was like, am I hearing something coming up on my phone? And I don't usually hear chanting. So I heard some sort of chanting. And then when you were speaking, I was hearing feeling like a pressure on the left side of my head, and just kind of that overall, a nice feeling that I was having, like when you meditate. So that was my experience with that. And I love languages, so that would be a really cool experience. So
it sounds like you two may be very close to that threshold of letting the ability come forward. And I think I'd mentioned to somebody else, sometimes if you just start chanting,
okay,
any of those things that sometimes come forward. The biggest thing is people, that the experience that I've had when people tell me that they started, like I had one woman, when she started doing it, she hid in her closet because she was afraid that anybody in her household would hear her. She was needed to be locked up.
Right.
So being in a nice
not too far from that anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So being in a nice quiet place where there's nobody else that can hear you just makes you relax a little bit more, and it helps it flow much easier.
Okay. And I did do that actually a couple, I don't know, maybe 3-4 days ago. I did have that experience where it just felt like doing that. And so that was interesting that you brought that up.
Right.
Thank you. I do have a question. Well, I probably have a million questions, but ever since I started reading A Course in Miracles, actually even before that, but especially then, I have a really strong connection with Jesus, and I've become really passionate about so many things where I didn't have that.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like on fire right now. And I have started setting intentions on things I work with, and I've asked Jesus to help me set intentions so that when I work on something that I'm setting an intention with his guidance and help, so that when it goes out in the world, it's the person who receives the gift gets it, but also anyone who sees it or is near it. And I'm just wondering if
He says yes.
Okay.
He says yes. You're filling it with energy and vibration. He's also talking about the color. You select different colors for different people because you're doing just like I am. I'm tapping into their energy. You're tapping into their energy. He says, don't second guess yourself, and don't doubt yourself. You're doing my work.
Thank you. Thank you. I just got the chills. Yeah, I was going to ask if he was working with me, because I know someone's working with me. I feel it. And so,
yes. Yes, you have to realize, he's saying to me to, realize, tell everybody, I'm omnipresent. I can be with each and every one of you at the same time. He says, and I devote to those who are working on and expanding their own abilities and opening their hearts to the love that they came here to experience and to share. This is another way of you sharing your love for humanity, not just the people that contact you, but humanity, because like you said, you wear that shirt, you send that shirt out, and somebody puts it on and they go into the 7-Eleven or Starbucks to get a cup of coffee. Other people are absorbing that energy from you. It's like we're all lights too. And that's what we are. We're full of light. We are light beings. And it took me a long time to learn this myself, because when I first started channeling, this just happened because I was sharing light language with somebody, and all of a sudden my group, my guides are doing what they're doing with you. It was like, oh, okay, she did what she was supposed to, so now she's ready for the next step.
Okay.
So things began to expand. It's like stepping out of a comfort zone. With the minute you step out of that comfort zone, they give you more. You get more, and then you get more, and then sometimes it comes so fast. Like for me, I saw this little blurb thing on the screen with the person that I was talking to, I was giving light language to, and I was like, what is that? What is that? Why am I seeing this? And it's moving around. It was like a little cloud. And then I could see a profile, and it was a masculine profile. And then it would move again, and then I'd see the other profile. Now, I knew nothing about this woman's personal life at all. But this was my team saying, we got her. We're going to give her a little bit more this time. And it turns out, then I heard words in my mind, which I had never heard before. And then all of a sudden I was hearing words from different people. So I could tell there was a different vibration, which is what you're working with, different vibrations. So when you're working, you probably are feeling different vibrations when you're working with the fabric.
Right.
The fabric is now labeled for a particular person in that particular energy. So you're going to get something out of that red fabric for this person that you didn't get out of the same red fabric from the other person. And that's kind of what it was. And I heard the words, Mama is love. So afterwards, after I finished the light language, I asked her, and this is in the book, by the way, you'll hear it. Her name is Jeannie Hall, and you'll read about this in the book. And I just said to her, I got to ask you, do these words mean something to you? But while they were still in my mind, I'm asking my own mind, why am I hearing this? So then I hear, just go with it, Linda, just go with it. Just simple words like a friend of yours would say, just go with it, that kind of a thing. And I'm like, okay. So when I asked her, she started crying, just cries down. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, what have I done? So when she finally calmed down, she says to me that her husband and her son worked together, and her son would come to her house to pick up his dad, and she'd always fix them breakfast before they went out. And he would always come into her wherever she was, at the stove, at the sink, from behind. He'd wrap his arms around her, and he would whisper those words in her ear, Mama is love. That's when I knew I could channel. So you get more and more each time. And then it just went like what Loretta has, talked about earlier. I want to take up a lot of time there, but, I went from that to channeling animals, to channeling insects, to channeling little parakeets, just whatever, I'll have a clients, and all of a sudden I'll see this little lizard, and I'll say, did lizards mean anything to you? Oh my God, and I hear this whole story about the lizards, or rabbits, or whatever it might be that just shows up. Dogs, cats, they may show up. So stepping out of that comfort zone, and that's what you're doing. You have stepped out of your comfort zone. So be prepared.
Okay.
What's coming next?
That is incredible. I know Desmond has his hand up. That's incredible, because I decided at the last minute to wear this shirt that Rebecca gifted me with. And when my daughter walked into the room, she literally jumped and was like, oh my gosh, Mom, that shirt is amazing. She had the most exaggerated reaction. And I was like, wow, like it really, like that Jesus is telling you, like, you are really onto something. So guys,
Yes.
if you want a shirt, please, I'm gonna highlight the email address. She taps into your energy. So I want to, Desmond has his hand up, and there's, I know Greg, before I get to you, there's somebody else with their hand up. So Desmond, what did you have to ask?
Hello, Linda.
Hello. What a gorgeous man you are.
I appreciate that.
Somebody's lucky in life.
When you were channeling, I kind of felt like a grandparent around me. Recently, when you said grandfather, I have been like researching in my family tree, and I have a picture of my great grandfather. So I was initially thinking it's just that spirit, that presence around. So I was wondering if you had like a message.
Do you happen to know what his name was?
Yeah, well, his first name, and it was Mac.
Okay.
His name was Mac McNair. And then my grandmother was Mamie Jones, but like it kind of just felt like that energy, like of my grandparent when you were channeling.
Yeah. Well, this could very well be your great grandfather that's here. Do you know whether or not he was an overall kind of guy? Because for some reason that's important.
Yes, he was a sharecropper.
Oh, there you go. That's who it is. That's who it is. Okay, so let's see. Now he's got a woman with him.
Yes.
He looks like a tall man to me, and she looks like a little short dude.
Yes.
Yeah? Is that how?
I've had pictures with both of them.
Like his arm is here and she's like, here's her head. Yes, it's them. It's them. You have a question for him?
No, well, not necessarily a question, but I'll ask, like, am I on the right path? If, like right now, I think I'm on a stronger spiritual walk than I've normally been on, and like heavily reading and just trying to look for answers in that path. So am I on the right path?
Well, I don't know that you would know this because he's your great grandfather, but he's just in the expression, holy moly, holy moly. I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing. Holy moly. Yes, you are. You are in the right place at the right time for that which you have come here to accomplish. So keep on that path, keep going. And they're around you. They're very much around you. What happened in your life 6 months ago?
Last 6 months, my just relationship wise, a lot of things changed.
Okay, so that's what he's telling me. They stepped in about 6 months ago. You being directed in a different direction than what you thought you were going to be going in, is what he's saying. And that's what your question is. Am I really going in the right direction? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And he's saying yes.
Yeah, because recently, things have shifted again. So, just, feeling like I'm in the right place, like I'm doing the right things, and, the actions are kind of aligning, like, like I had to step back a little bit to move forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're in the right place. He's telling me to tell you you're on a very great path. And this path will take you where you want to go. She's saying for me to tell you, put doubt aside. Because he's saying that oftentimes when your intuition is giving you messages, you're doubting where they're coming from. And he wants me to tell you that always trust those intuitions because they come from a higher place than what we as humans are experiencing here. And trust them. But the big thing is to believe in yourself too. Do you work with young people in some way, shape, or form?
I do.
Isn't that amazing? Because that's what he's telling me. He's showing me younger people and how you're going to influence them. What you're doing now will influence their future as well. And this is where you're going to make your difference in humanity So we're all here to make changes in humanity. That's why we're here. And it's not always on a massive scale where we're going to travel around and have 10,000 people. Those groups are not really driven by spirituality. They're driven by money. So we work in small areas, small venues, but powerful ones. Because what's so powerful about it is we're influencing the lives of others who will go on. It's like a chain reaction, right? Who go on and influence another person. That's with my light language. Once I'm able to activate somebody in light language and they use that light language in group settings, they now can do that for others. And that's how it goes. It reminds me of the pyramid. Everything starts out small, but if you keep going and you keep trusting and you keep believing in yourself and what you're doing, it gets wider and wider and wider, just like the pyramid does.
Thanks.
So keep it up. Keep up. You're there to influence young people.
That's incredible. Linda, you're on fire. He most certainly works with young people. That's so cool. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There's somebody's name is iPhone. I don't have your name. You have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
There it is.
Yes, good evening, everybody. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Linda. I want to tell you, I want to welcome you, first of all, you and your husband. That was amazing.
Thank you.
During your life lesson, I tried to focus. The first voice, I wasn't really focused. Put my earphones in. The second voice, I noticed the voice changed. And then when you got to the third voice, it almost sounded like a song. So my question to you is, everybody on here is amazing. Everybody from Greg to everybody that, said their experience and everything like that. Like, I have so many questions, but my question to you is, well, actually, this is for Jesus. Ever since I was a little girl, I always had this love in my heart towards people and everything like that. So I know I have a purpose on this earth, but I don't know what it is. Every time someone close to me lose a loved one, it takes me back to 13 years ago when my father passed away. And when my father passed away, it was unexpected. It wasn't like, oh, we got to go visit him in a hospital. It was like one morning he woke up, checked into the emergency room, and never came back. But during that time while he was in the hospital, I had this vision, and I kept telling my mom, like, I saw my father before he even passed. Like, I saw him in his casket, just exactly how he was when I went to his funeral. And I said to my mother, my father is going to die. And my mother was like, no, he's not going to die. So last year's summer, I was just sitting here. I had his picture on the wall from day one. After they buried him and everything, his picture's been in my room. It was a nice summer day. I was minding my business. I don't recall what I was doing. The picture just flew off the wall. And it didn't just, you know how like a picture just fall off the wall, just drop? This picture spin off the wall and the glass broke. So my question to you is, I wanted to know, when my father passed away, I spoke to him the night before he passed away. I didn't see him. He said he had to go sleep now. And I told him I love him, but he hung up before I said that. So I wanted to know, did he go in peace? Is he in a happy place? Does he have a message for me?
What is his name? What's
his name? His name is Onike. Onike, O-N-I-K-E. I'm from Africa. We're from Africa.
He had a nickname. What was his nickname?
His name is Onike. Onike.
Okay, but he's telling me he had a nickname too. What was his nickname?
His nickname was Royale. Okay,
that's what he's talking to me. He's saying, I used my nickname. So he's here. He's telling me to tell you, people had a hard time pronouncing his name. So this is how he used his nickname. He said, "Yeah, that, my birth name was good in family situations, but not in the general daily life that I led." And what he's saying is, let me see. He's telling me that he's been trying to get your attention. That's one of the reasons why the picture came off the wall. Basically because you're doubting yourself. Basically because he's telling me to tell you that you're cutting yourself short. You're not, he said the love that you have within you, okay, is not getting out of you because you're doubting yourself. And we all doubt ourselves. Trust me, we all doubt ourselves. But he's there and he's with you. He's trying to tell me something about his death. He's telling me that he had a choice. He's like giving me these visions of where the angels came down to his room and like they had a conversation with him. He was kind of fighting whether or not he wanted to go or stay. And the part of him that wanted to stay was because of family love, family connections and stuff. But somehow or another, he's one that they were saying could do so much more from the other side. With the angels, if he were to be with the angels, he could do so much more. Now, I also get the feeling that he wasn't a really religious man.
He was.
He was? In what sense? In sense of the church or the sense of spirituality?
In sense of the church,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So he was religious, okay, but at the same point in time, what he's telling me was he was confused until he went home. He calls it going home. Until I went home, and then I could see the big picture. And he said, "You're living the big picture. I want you to live the big picture. And the big picture is not brick and mortar." Okay, and it's just like we've been told before, and Jesus has come forward before in challengings and stuff like that, saying that the Bible that we read today, we have to read with discernment, and we have to read with. We need to touch base with ourselves and tell ourselves that only those things that were of him do I absorb and do I understand, and the things that were changed for control will stand out, and I will know the difference. And he says that's how we all need to do if we want to have that type of religion in our life. He's telling us that we don't really need the brick and mortar, but some people have so much, and like Loretta was saying earlier, so much of their life is created around the church, and that's where their belief and their love has come from, just like mine was. But right. He wants us to be very discerning, and you need to step out of your comfort zone. He says, Linda's talking about comfort zones, and she's talking about comfort zones because many here need to know that they are too comfortable in the zone they're in. And if they want to accomplish that which they came here to do, they've got to be able to step out of it. He's talking to me about you talking to other people. Do you have a group that you have other than this group that you communicate with or talk with on a spiritual level?
No.
Then you need to create one. I think that's what he's trying to say. You need to call.
Well, you know what? Actually, I do. Like one or two person from my church, like I will call and like, text message each other, like just like inspirational stuff, like how are you doing today? How are you feeling? And stuff like that. Yeah. But like a group where I can meet with and talk on a more higher spiritual level now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you need to seek out more. And there's a lot too, like what Loretta is doing. And there's a lot of other ones as well. But you need to expand yourself is what he's saying. You need to expand your, and our COVID has really, really kept a lot of us behind the bars, so to speak. Right. So, accumulating and inviting people into your home and having these small little group sessions over the last 3 years have been very difficult. But trust. He's saying trust. And you need to, and that's what he's saying. And he says you know where to step. Just trust yourself that you're heading in the right direction. You know where to step. You're here for a purpose, and your purpose is to help other people awaken into light.
Thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you. Just want to make sure I'm calling name. Shanti, I knew you were gone, but if you wanted to ask something, I wanted to take it. But I know it's getting late. So anybody who needs to drop off, welcome to do that.
Thank you, Loretta. I also want to thank your guests, of course. Thank you, Linda. It's been
You're welcome.
Here. I did have an experience as you were giving us the light language. My two palms were sitting on my knees, and I did experience like vibrations or electrical currents or something between the fingertips. And they were just there, and I was just feeling the energy, between the fingertips of both hands. So that was interesting to me. I've been a long time student of A Course in Miracles, and that's been my path for many years now. So I am very, 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 very much a disciple, devotee of Jesus. I started off in the church too, but many years ago. And I'm just very grateful for what you shared with us this evening. The only other thing that I would maybe bring up, well, I set my intention. My intention was that I be able to hear the Holy Spirit instructions clearly, and follow through on them consistently. And so that was my intention. My question, on the other hand, is about my little dog that passed away last year. So I'll bring up the pet. Oh,
okay.
It's a little guy, and we had him for 16 years, so he was definitely part of my family. And
is his coat like a reddish color?
No, that's the dog I have now.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not the same kind of breed that you had before, though, is it?
No, it's not. No.
Okay. And the color of the one that you had before, was it white?
It was white with black patches here and there.
Yes. Yeah. Like a Shih Tzu or
oh my gosh, yes, he was a Shih Tzu.
Okay.
That's my little guy.
Okay, yeah, that's him. He's here. Yep. Okay, he's doing this, and you'll probably understand this because he's very excited now, and he's kind of like doing like this. He's jumping. He's so excited. Jumping. And usually if they show me that, that's something that they did when they got excited when they were with you. Jumping. Not jumping on you, but just like jumping. It's kind of like jumping. That kind of thing. All excited. He's sending you so much love, and he says, thank you so much for giving me such a beautiful life.
Oh.
He wants you to know that this was not his first incarnation as a dog,
and
that he has he had an experience where he wasn't loved and he wasn't cared for. So his life with you was everything that he wanted, everything that you gave him. He's also telling me that he plays with the other dog. Do you ever see the dog? It doesn't make much sense.
Oh yes, it does. As a matter of fact, I always tell this one, Noonie sent you. I know Noonie sent you to keep me company.
Yep, absolutely. And she plays, or he, I don't know what it was, a male or a female, but she plays with a new dog.
That figures. That figures. And yeah, I had the one that passed away 16 years. So he was definitely a, he
That's
was
a long time for a Shih Tzu. Yeah. I own a Shih Tzu too. Yeah, and before this one, I had another Shih Tzu that was predominantly black with the white patches on it, just the opposite of what yours is.
Yeah.
And I lost her at 10 years, so you were very blessed to have your baby for 16 years.
I used to say he was a sacred being. He really, really was, as he moved through life and interacted with everyone else. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you so much, Shanti. Shanti is a Course in Miracles student of like over 35 years. Like
wonderful.
Yes, I mean,
I'm going to go buy the book. I've never even looked at the book, but now I'm going to go buy the book.
And it can be intimidating, but Linda, just one lesson a day. Thank you so much for your question, Shanti. Question, Greg. Antoinette, did you have anything? I love Antoinette. Who else have I not? Charmaine, Khadidra. I'm just calling people out. You don't have to ask anything. I just wanted to just make sure we get everybody before we close out. And before we close out, Linda, I wanted to ask one more question of Jesus.
Okay.
I'm just enjoying you saying Antoinette and then Charmaine, because my sister's name is Charmaine.
Yeah, that's right.
So hi, Charmaine, whoever you are. And
hi, Antoinette. That's crazy. Wow.
I know, that is crazy. And Linda, thank you so much. I'm so delighted to meet you, and I'm going to be buying your book because I'm a channeler and my husband really needs to read this book. Well, I'll read it first, and then I'm going to have my husband read it. I'm very excited and very excited for the opportunity. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And all the books are available on Amazon, and there's also Book Baby it's called. And I think they might be a little bit less expensive on Book Baby, but I'm not sure. But
thank you.
Yeah, that's who published the book for us, is Book Baby.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Antoinette. Okay, Charmaine, I'm assuming you don't have anything. It's many thanks to Linda. Good night to you all. Charmaine, did you want to ask anything?
Yes, I do. Gosh, I have so much I would like to ask. I don't know where to begin. So I think I was about to ask about my little goosey friend. I have like a goose that I met. It's an interesting story, but I kind of want to just find out, like, I guess like a general question, like what is my purpose? I feel like I kind of know what it is, but I'm kind of living it, but I don't know if I should do something else different, because I help a lot of people. I'm kind of exhausted. So, but I don't know. I don't know what else I should be doing or something. I'm just not sure.
Okay, so what I'm getting, Charmaine, for you is your light. When I'm seeing you, I see your light. You are spreading your light, but one of the things that you need to understand is you have to take care of you first. So you need to get balance. They're telling me you need more balance. It sounds like you're a shaker and a mover. Does that make sense to
you? Emotionally, yes, I think, yeah. Deep down, I am a shaker to move, even though I'm kind of settled, but that's not really who I am. I do want to move more.
We're really kind of been forced into being more sedentary over the last few years. But I get that you are a mover and a shaker, and that your light goes everywhere that you go. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. and you're in a very good place. You're in the right place on your path that you should be for right now. I see the path. I see a ruler, and that's what the vision they give me for the path is ruler, and it shows me, and you're right in the center of the ruler, which indicates to me that you are right where you were supposed to be for this time in your life. But it's also telling me that there's something ahead of you that's going to be very, well, the word they're using, explosive. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to do different businesses. I'm thinking about YouTube a little bit, but I'm just kind of like just taking it a step at a time. So, but it's interesting you said ruler because I work in the courts. I have kind of like an authoritative position a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, but you're right where you're supposed to be, but there's something big that's coming. It's right around the corner. You're like on a cusp of some kind of, it's either a brand new awakening of your abilities somewhere, and or something is going to come along that is going to give you that sense that you are expanding in that which you came here to do, which was what we're all here to do, and that is to touch the lives of other people. So something close to happening, something very close to presenting itself to you. That's what I'm getting at. I have no idea what that might be. I just it's very close.
Wait, say that again. Say that one more time. Sorry.
No, I said I don't know what it's going to be, but there is something that is going to be presented to you that is going to, you're going to have to make your mind whether or not you want to go in that direction, but it's a good thing. So.
Oh, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Okay. Yes, it's a good thing. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Oh, I'm leaving my job. Whew, thank you.
Yeah, it feels like something big too. It feels like something big. Like not just like a little bump in the road, but something bigger than that. So keep your mind open and keep all the possibilities open, and your intuition will tell you when it's right.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Charmaine. I think that is everybody. So I wanted to ask a personal question. I'm torn. I want to ask a personal question, but of course I want to ask Jesus. What is Jesus's vision for this group?
He's calling your group the soldiers. Wow. You are getting soldiers. The soldiers are walking the path that they created for themselves. He's also telling me there's going to be a bump. There's going to be a bump, and I think that things are going to change very quickly. But I think what they're talking about is where all of society is going and where all of social media is going. We're going to hit a bump. I almost feel like the rug's going to be pulled out from underneath us. But he says, "Do not fret; we'll be back." And I'm seeing the earth grid. I'm seeing the earth grid, and I'm seeing the lights on the grid. So each one of your people in your group is one of the lights. Have anybody in the group been encouraged to move to a different area recently? Or circumstances we're putting? Okay, Rebecca, Shanti, follow that move because that's where your light is needed.
Yeah, I did. I just moved 5 months ago.
Okay, so you are now where you are supposed to be.
Yeah, I feel it.
Light is needed. Yes. And that's what happened with anybody that's moving or wants to move, or all of a sudden the circumstances or or forcing them to make some type of a move. And look, we all know with real estate the way it is right now, having to move is a nightmare, expenses and otherwise, but it'll all come together perfectly. And that's because they're moving the light around. And all of us have our own light. So that's what he's showing me.
Thank you.
And Linda, I just want to confirm that is a physical move, right? That you're
Yes.
speaking of? Okay.
I believe so, yes. Yes. Like from one state to another state or one city to another city. Yeah.
Yes, I have been really, really thinking on that very hard lately.
Yeah. Also, he's saying that when that time comes to make that move, take a map out. If you're open to where you want to go. Now, in your case, if you have family that you're not around, but you need to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Linda, can you confirm that I'm in the right spot? Because
Oh yeah, you're definitely in the right spot.
Okay.
Yep. You're in the right spot.
It feels like it, but
Yeah, now when I say spot, I don't necessarily mean the house you're in, I mean the area that you're in. Yeah.
yeah, because I made a huge move.
Something about is bigger than the mortar, brick and mortar. It's bigger than that. It's the area that you're in.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You just move 2 doors down, then you just move 2 doors down. You didn't change where your light will shine. If you moved a greater distance from where you are to where you are, that's because you needed to be in that area for your light.
Okay. Yeah, I moved over 2,500 miles.
Yeah, I would say that was a big light move.
Yeah. Great. Thank
Well,
you.
everybody keep your light shining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So much. This has been incredible.
It's been fun. I've really enjoyed every bit of it. And
Very generous with your time.
Thank you.
Man.
Well, thank you guys. And Loretta will make sure that I have everybody's contact number.
Yes.
Or it might be easier just to give them mine. You can go to my website, and on my website, which she'll post, there's a place to send me emails right there as well. So you can do it individually or collectively or whatever you want to do, but you can send me an email through that site. Or my email address is just very simple, artsbylindalee@yahoo.com. So either way that you can reach me. And just my name, Linda Hack, for Messenger. If any of you guys are on Messenger, you can friend me on Messenger as well. Be happy to answer any kind of questions that y'all might have. And let me know. And now, and when you do go onto the website, please do a little moving around, look at the blog. A lot of the stuff that I have on my blog were channeled through me from the Federation of Light. And they're very interesting. They're very informative. My team will wake me up in the middle of the night, make me get up in the dark of night and write the stuff up. So, and my husband can honestly tell you, and it's probably in the book too, I don't know, but tell you that when I'm done writing, it's nothing that he knows that I would put together myself. It comes from a source beyond myself. And there's a lot of those in the website. If you click into the blog, you can read those. There's some of my videos are in the website. And read the About Me. The About Me tells my story about my awakening. And it's very informative, and it's an easy read. And I think it'll open up your mind to how I came about and how this all came about. And again, in the book as well.
Yes, thank you. And Linda, I will be booking a session because I did have some questions.
Okay,
I want to ask. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for holding the space for tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you. I thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Loretta.
Yes, thank you. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love and light, guys.